Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Cleaning and Cocktails. We're doing the in-studio episodes. Like, you know, I love these. These are the ones that I feel like we get to connect with the guests at a whole nother level. Obviously, the show is about bringing the cleaning industry together. As you know, we bring people from all walks of life, right? Mostly cleaning business owners, but people from the technology space, people from the trade associations, suppliers, manufacturers. And in this case, we've got a great story of a company that does a couple things for us here in the cleaning industry. It's a cleaning consulting company and it's a software company, which you guys know, I love software. But I have the pleasure of having Tony and Vince Maione from Core America. And we'll talk about the tools and the softwares you guys have in detail. But Core America is the umbrella company for you know who they represent. It's a family business, brothers, as you guys just heard me say. So you guys know how much I love family. Vince, Tony, thank you so much. You guys flew in here to do this. I appreciate you guys. We're going to talk about where we got to meet each other, but do me a favor, Tony, for a couple minutes, introduce yourself to the Cleaning and Cocktails community.
Sure.
I'm excited to share you to them.
Thanks. We're so excited to be here. And hi, everybody. I'm Tony Maione. I'm the president with Core America. I've been with Core for about 17 years. Although, as you might hear as we talk today, I've been in the cleaning industry. Pretty much, we've been born into it through our family businesses, and glad to be here today. Excited to talk a lot of great topics. Vince?
Great, yeah. Vince Maione. I'm the director of sales and marketing. As Tony mentioned, the Core is the umbrella, but I focus mostly on the software, which is Smart Inspect. So I'm excited to tell you more about it.
Yeah, and just a little bit about Core for those that don't know us. We're as Ricky said, we're a consulting company, and we work typically directly for the end user, whether they're in-house or outsourced, and we help them to assess their programs, typically staffing and quality and cost, and then we'll move into kind of phase 2 relationships where, you know, if they're outsourced, we help them do their bids, their RFPs, their audits, and if they're in-house, we'll design routes and cleaning maps and things like that.
He said route. You guys heard that? He said route. No.
So yeah, it's a great place to be, a really fun part of the industry, and we get to make software, which Vince will be talking more about, and glad to be here today.
So man, you know what, real quick before we get into how we met, the cool thing that I like about like the models that you guys have and how you guys, you know, cleaning, right? Nobody gets into the cleaning industry. And when they do, I feel like a lot of times they either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
I feel like when they love it, it's because they see the opportunity. So obviously your father and the family got into this business in this industry. They obviously love it. You love it because you said 15 plus years. But what I like about what you're doing is you had a cleaning business. Now you become consultants in cleaning, right? Whether there's good or bad vibes on consultants, right? But it's, you lived it, you walked it, you talked it, you understand the business, you're helping out with the business, and you guys are even taking it a step further because you're building tools for it. So again, we're going to get into it. We're going to get deeper. But you guys, we met again, I was telling you off camera, like I had known Smart Inspect because becoming part of the software, ISSA, Brant had mentioned it. I'd seen it being demoed. I didn't know Tony or Vince though. And then I know, I hear what you know, I get introduced to you by Brant, and then I hear about Core America. But really, I think we've gotten to know each other now is as of late, and you guys have heard me talk about this, but we're all part of the ISSA Tech and Innovation Committee, which way overdue, right? I mean, I'm excited that ISSA brought this together brought us all together. But talk to me about when you first heard about the Tech and Innovation Community. I see why, right? You guys have innovation in tech. What got you excited about it? Did you guys raise your hand right away, reach out? Like what got you guys excited to be a part of a committee? Because it's more work. Like really, there's no money. So
just volunteer. Well, as Vince's older brother, I just dragged him into it with me. That's as I typically do. Yeah, exactly. So, no, but actually, I was at the ISSA trade show maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and Karina was there, and I remember talking to her and Micah and Brant. I was like, you know, the software seems to be having a bigger presence at this trade show, but it's very disjointed. Like I don't even know the other software owners out there. And, you know, it just seems like we should be helping the industry in some kind of cohesive way. You know, it's so hard to adopt new technology, and it just felt very disjointed. And we just kind of talked about the concept of, you know, wouldn't it be cool if we somehow formed some kind of group that was an advocate for anybody using any kind of technology, just to help guide them through that process. And so I think that kind of planted the seed. And then a couple of years went by, and Karina reached out and said it was time to do something like that. And I was eager to raise my hand and do it. And then
I think on my side of it, I talked to a lot of for us end user customers, contractors, and seeing that their struggle with technology and just not being able to adapt to it or not understanding it. A committee for this I thought was kind of perfect and well timed. So I was happy to take your coattails. And,
Vince is the more technical out of us too, and he used our product in the field for a number of years. So I felt like,
well, it's a compliment, right? It's a good
there's one good man between the two of us.
Half and half equals one.
That's right.
You get the Maione family.
Yeah, that's fun. It's been great so far.
Well, as part of the committee, talk to us, because we got some exciting stuff that we're doing. Right, we're trying to put together a lot of programming. Where to Vince's point too is like, we know technology is here, right? It's here. It's being utilized to a degree. Like some people don't know what certain technology does for them in their business. And because there is more coming out, it could be nice to have like that trusted advisory group, or like somebody to lean on, to ask questions on, hey man, there's this new inspection app that's out. How does it compare to this, that, and those are the questions I think within the LinkedIn group that we have. You guys, we have a LinkedIn group, Technology and Innovation Committee, ISSA. Is that's what we're trying to be, is that source of truth. Now with all that, we're putting together a pretty cool program in ISSA. Talk to us, Tony, about the CLX, because you brought it to our attention about hosting something like this, right? Yeah.
So what Ricky's talking about is we're headlining a main event at the trade show on Wednesday at 2:30, I believe, at the show. And it's all about this process I learned about a couple years ago called CLX. It stands for Cohort Learning Experience, and it's basically a new way, and a very social, fun way to train your team to learn anything. And it got my wheels spinning a little bit, thinking, all right, as a committee, we're there to help everybody adopt any kind of new technology. We can't be specific to robotics or IoT or any one thing. So what's a way we can help the whole ISSA community get better at launching something new and transitioning to something new? Because a lot of training comes with that. And I just went through this session as part of this other community I'm in, Small Giants, and learned about it. And I've been kind of experimenting with it in our own company. Vince is kind of a guinea pig, him and others. So I've been kind of leading it and learning about it. And it's really been a profound new way to learn anything. And essentially what it is you, instead of the old school model of training where you dump a lot of content on people, and it might be like 30 pages of boring reading or a 1 hour
tutorial
video, then a test.
You just take action, but you still got to take action.
Yeah. It's almost like the opposite of that. You minimize content, but make it really impactful content, and you maximize the social aspect of it and learning from your peers. So it's a cohort learning experience. So basically what it looks like is you pick a topic. Like in our own company, we started with artificial intelligence. Okay. So what we do is we pick just like 5 to 10 minutes of content, whether it's a video or someone's firsthand knowledge or a short little blurb to read. And you do start with content. And then with a group of like 6 to 10 people, you start sharing your own stories and experiences based on what you just listened to or what you just read. And it's like give and take, where everybody's kind of an equal seat at the table. It's not like one presenter just like spilling out facts to people. It's everybody talking about it. Then you spend about a half hour doing that. And then you wrap up with every person in the group has to pick one action item that they're going to do that. But by the time you meet next, like a month later, they have to do one thing related to that topic they learned about. So for example, with artificial intelligence, we had one session on using like Chat GPT or kind of large language models and kind of some tips on that. We watched a YouTube video on the do's and don'ts of using that. Yeah. Then we talked about it for about a half hour, and we all shared kind of our own fun stories of what's working and not working. And then we each had an action item everyone had to use AI to help them do their job better in one instance by the next time we met. And then when you meet the next time, you start the meeting by sharing how that homework assignment went. And it's kind of like a spiral of learning. Like you kind of keep looping around that same flow, but you're kind of all going upwards together. Like, so you kind of make really good content, a moderator that can speak to the content, then it's very social and talking and learning. So it's fun.
It forces everyone to be involved.
Yeah. And you remember it because we're social people. We don't learn well when we're just sitting there reading.
So I got to tell you, because I didn't know all of that. So you just schooled me on that. But so what I take from it too, then you guys is, so the content triggers the conversation.
Yes.
And then the moderator is moderating everything. So if there's 6 to 8, 10, I think 10 may be the max, right? Like you don't want to have too big.
You don't
want
to be too big. Yeah.
So then everybody's sharing their experience, which I'm a big fan of, right?
Yeah.
Shared experience is way better than just somebody telling you, a theoretical. And then does that cohort? So then they're a group. So then they stick with each other.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly. You form little like kind of subgroups within your company. ISSA's case, we're going to do we'll have like a robotics table, an IoT table, an AI table. And, maybe the groups will stick together after the show, but the show is,
that's what we're going to try to do is
we're just to kind of get the concept out there. Then they can take it back to their, their companies and kind of do it themselves.
Hey, so you guys heard that while you're at the ISSA show, make sure you take a look and check out. I mean, we're going to post about it. We'll tag the event as well. Because it's a different approach.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's fun.
Thank you for speaking up.
Yeah.
Thank you for speaking up at the committee.
And there's a cocktail hour after.
And it's a cocktail hour. Who's hosting that? I don't know. We'll find out. But all right, guys. So that's that CLX. Now let's get to, so Vince, I'll direct this towards you.
Yeah.
So we talked about Core America.
Yep.
We're talking about tech and innovation.
Yeah.
You showed me something that Smart Inspect was used.
So,
again, when did Smart Inspect come to be?
So it was about 20 years ago.
Core was started in 1995, and one of the things we do is third-party cleaning inspections. And so, like everybody started, we used to use pen and paper, and then Excel, and then eventually we wanted to make our own software, originally for our own internal use. So in 2002,
we outsourced some development to an old HP iPac, which has the stylus that you would have to click through and the HD card or the SD card to upload your data. So prior to my role today, I was using this.
Oh my God.
Every
Imagine
week.
if Route was on that though.
Every week, day in and day out, traveling the country, performing third-party audits with this. And this was before Smart Inspect was even really...
It was before smartphones.
It was before... No, I'm saying before
so
Smart Inspect was
that's
even...
Just text.
This is
just like a little mini...
But the great thing behind it is, it was developed by our own team. If you fired this up and looked at the bare bones of this today versus then, obviously it's been way more improved. UI but the simplicity of it,
it's still there.
It's still there.
Yeah, it still works.
So that's the fundamentals still work.
The fundamentals still work. So after we use this for a while, we started to in-house our development. So we had 3 in-house developers with the advent of iPhones and Androids, and turned it into essentially its own product.
Yeah, because it's a mobile app and a web app today, or is it?
It's a mobile app on iOS and Android, but the reporting website is hosted on AWS. So you do the inspections, you do the the checklists all on the mobile app, but then all that gets stored on the reporting website and also automatically sent out to whoever needs to see it.
So this, Vince, this product was first for Core America and your clientele, right? Like it optimized the way you did business. Mm-hmm. When was that moment that you said, hey, you know what? This is something that actually the industry can use, and you decided to commercialize it?
I think it was when our customers started to see the reports that we were generating from it. Rather than just 1 through 10 on a piece of paper and handing them this or that, we actually had digital reports that came from this. So we're providing them with these great resources. And then the question was, well, where are these coming from? How did you collect this data? I mean, that was a little before my time when that transition happened. But so I mean, Tony could probably speak more to that part of it.
Yeah. I think I started with Smart Inspect right around a couple of years after. So our father, Tony Sr., our dad.
Oh, we're going to talk about father. We're going to talk about.
He was kind of the original inventor of it. But I remember being an intern in college and writing the first training manual for it. But originally it was just word of mouth, and we didn't see ourselves as a software company, and we didn't even know how to market software. So it just kind of dribs and drabs, kind of a customer here, a contractor there would want it, and we'd figure out a price and give it to them.
Okay. So like there was no model behind.
No, it was just like, we're a consulting company that we happen to have good software, and if someone wants it, we'll sell it to them.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the first few years. And we had customers, but we were just kind of, faking it till you make it way through. But it's probably like 5 years in where we're, around 2007, we're like, all right, people really want this, and we should get serious about, being a software company as well. And then that's led to, having our own dev team, and kind of it snowballed from there.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So if you could though, audience, a lot of small business owners that are cleaning contractors, property managers, facility managers, is there different use case? Like if I am a building service contractor and I'm interested in quality control management inspections.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Smart Inspect. Does that matter if I'm a facility manager too though, or is the use case different?
You want to answer that, Vince?
Yeah, sure. So regardless of the industry and vertical, you can customize anything here. But what's great about Core's use of it from over the last 30 years is we have over like 4 or 5 billion square feet that have been inspected in all different industries and verticals. Mm-hmm. So we have these best practice templates. So if you're cleaning a K-12 school, or if you're cleaning an office building, we have those templates pre-built that our own third-party auditors use. So it's like, it doesn't matter what vertical you're in. Yeah. We have a template that you can start with, but then customize that. So really it's open.
So it's not use. I think I even said it wrong. Then it's not even the fact that it's use case. This is like facility type based. Like, so it doesn't matter if you're a cleaning contractor versus in-house manager.
Because we work, like, both are our customer. We originally designed it for a lot of even in-house programs at universities and colleges. They were some of our early clients. So I would say anybody that's really serious about quality and the corrective action process, that doesn't want a software that does everything to help them run their organization, but just be really good at the quality side of cleaning. That's what it's best for. Anybody that really wants to go deep with that.
So here, I'm gonna actually. Remember, I told you I think of other questions as I'm listening. So quality control, like even us in our family business, we think of there's different outlooks on quality. Like there's the one thing where we have like inspectors that are inspecting, a trainer is training on the scope of work, and then we went as far as we're like, man, we need somebody in charge of quality, like quality control. And at first, it was quality control for us meant, are they doing the task? Are they completing them on time? What's the cleanliness of the building looking like? But we even, tell me what you think about this, is I took it a step further to challenge the team and said, but quality control can also be like the quality of communication, the quality of, are we delivering on service the way it's supposed to be, not just cleaning. Like, I think like everybody thinks quality control is, are you cleaning good or bad? Right. Red or green? Yes, no. Right. What do you guys think, like quality control, and especially for us in the cleaning industry, like what's that mean to you guys, or how has the outlook changed over the years?
Yeah. You want to go first, or?
I mean, just from a technical standpoint, if you don't have to just inspect the cleanliness. I mean, it's so customizable that you can actually do surveys for people and ask how your team is communicating, or how's the grounds and landscaping, how's the snow. So it's not pigeonholed into just cleaning. That's on a technical standpoint, but more on a theory. I think you could answer that better.
Yeah, I probably come into that question more than Vince with what I do more day to day. So we do a lot of RFP work. So we'll design the scope of work on behalf of the client, the office building, the college. And we write a lot of KPIs, key performance indicators. And
hey, be easy on us. Right? Don't make it.
So, but my point in saying that is, originally, to your point, like 15, 20 years ago, when I was first doing RFPs, it was mainly just quality. Like you had a couple KPIs, like, maybe third-party audits, internal audits, and you had to hit a quality score. And that's just what it meant to have high quality. But now I would say that it's expanded into sustainability. People want to track green cleaning, and whether, especially if it's a LEED certified building, staffing. There's a quality element to, knowing how many people are actually doing the cleaning and how many vacancies, and reporting on that. Cost share, are you looking for cost savings as a either in-house or outsourced program, and coming forward with cost savings ideas? And then ATP testing. Do you guys do that at all? The swabbing.
We were doing it. We have a couple people that have done it. Like in our healthcare space, we'll do it. But dude, that's a topic in itself. Like we'd love to do more, but
there's a time and place.
How does
for
the client doesn't see the value sometimes, in my opinion.
It's
Like,
hit and miss. It
it's hit and
depends
miss.
on kind of their cleaning for health efforts and things like that. But yeah, my point is it's definitely expanded beyond
Cleaning.
just cleanliness.
Okay.
And typical client now has 5 to 7 KPIs, and it could be maybe 2 or 3 are related to straight up cleanliness, and then the others are staffing, management, sustainability.
So, man, you touched on a good one. The costs. What was it? The cost.
Cost savings.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think about that one because we're more so with the larger clients that we have. So I'm putting my cleaning company hat on.
Yeah.
The bigger ones actually get us involved with the RFP. Like there is times if they do a switch or there's a buyout or there's a merger, like they're like, hey, we have to go through the process. We're going to go through an RFP. You're the incumbent,
Right.
but you know what? We love your input.
Yeah.
On like, you've been here for 4 years.
Yeah.
Like at first we were scared when that happens. Like, oh no, you're going
to like just give
but
this
how do
information.
I feel like a way to embrace it is cost savings, right? Like, hey, don't be afraid to come to them to say, hey, for the past 2 years, we've had this much production rate, this many staff.
Yeah.
We don't need this much staff if we assigned people differently. Or like, do you guys ever recommend, like we got robotics now, right? Like we have robotics, we have bigger scrubbers that do more. Is that a part of cost savings? Like, it may cost them more money, but like labor or the productivity of the cleanliness of the building may come out to be better for them with their tenants.
Customers love that proactive approach. Essentially, that's why they're, if more either in-house or contractors did that proactively, then Core would probably be out of business. You wouldn't need us to come
because they're going to you for
that's
that.
What we do. They're coming to us, say, hey, you guys have workloading tools. You're an outsider that knows specs and production rates. So literally before it goes out to bid, we come in and we measure the square footage, we count the fixtures. And then we have this other software called SmartLoad, and we do what you're describing, but from a consulting standpoint, really giving information to the client that they should be getting maybe from their provider, but drive that conversation.
Is there a world where, because I wouldn't be opposed to, because you guys probably know how to do this better than we would do it, but like, what if we know that they're going out for RFP?
Oh yeah, we do that.
And we say, hey, Core America, come here. Here's so-and-so client. We want to help them. They're RFP, especially, I'm not calling out municipalities, but like,
we work with a lot of
they're
municipalities.
15 years. They give you an RFP from 15 years ago.
Right.
It says ashtray.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Right.
When was this RFP done?
Yeah.
It's not bad to say, here's this company. They're third party. We got no relationship.
Right.
We want to put you in the best foot forward, and also us. Like we may be performing the wrong services in this building because we've been here for so long.
Yeah.
And the introduction, like I feel there's a way that BSCs could work with Core America.
Yeah, and we do all the time. Like actually, when I describe this process, we do it in communication with the BSC because we're just coming in for a 90-day project.
So you're not trying to fire them. You're just trying to
our goal is to make a long-lasting partnership that's more transparent between the two of them and lasts for years to come. So we need that that knowledge that they have from cleaning the site for years every day that we're not going to get from just coming in for a week and studying the place. So we invite them, they have a seat at the table to give us information. And then a lot of times it just leads to a negotiation and you avoid the RFP because we kind of, as a triangular team, can kind of talk through the specs. And
that's interesting.
Then it doesn't even go out to bid. So that happens too.
I like that.
Yep.
I got my wheels turning. All right. Well, you said it earlier and I want to stay on track a little bit here is SmartLoad. Vince, talk to me about SmartLoad now.
So SmartLoad actually is still mostly in Tony's realm for
you could talk. Go ahead. You could talk to it.
So in the late 90s.
That's our first software.
Man, they were building software way before software was cool.
I mean, there's a picture of like my dad.
Like,
that's awesome.
Cheesily like holding up this SmartLoad.
You guys got to send us a picture. We're putting it in the video for sure.
But essentially, it's a workloading program, and it's come a long way since the late 90s. Obviously, we've rebuilt it, and our guys use that pretty much every day to look at space inventory and workload and staff accordingly. But again, he can probably go a little deeper.
I use it more day to day. Vince is more on the quality side. I do more of the staffing, RFP, and route again. Constantly accidentally plugging you guys.
Love it.
But yeah, SmartLoad. It's based on all the production. ISSA publishes the production rates. Then there's APA publishes them. Then there's their healthcare and K-12 production rates. It's a good tool. Everyone has their own way to calculate staffing. I think you even have some modules.
Light version.
Yeah. So
because you need it. You need to.
Yeah, you gotta have something.
You gotta have something.
I'd say a big thing too is our just mountains and mountains of data and jobs that we've done over.
I was going to say that.
Yeah,
you
we're kind of like
saying
data.
like 90s and there's got to be so much there.
So much data.
Where is the idea or like the vision where we were talking off camera, right? And I'm sure, everybody here listening to would appreciate this is like, this is an industry of low wages, minimum wage and, just low margins, tough, you make 8-10%, hallelujah. You had a great year. Mm-hmm. That's tough to build and scale. A lot of our cost is labor, and a lot of our labor is paid every 2 weeks, right? So like, there's no room there where your expenses are out every month. Mm-hmm. How can we use the data that you guys have, or like, are you guys thinking of using it where improve the benchmark, like improve how production is done, how labor is performed in some of these environments where the client side can not just assume a cheap proposal to come in, but say, because I'm just thinking the data you guys have, there's got to be something where we can improve the thresholds of what a cleaning company deserves, in my opinion.
I would say a couple most common ways we see it used, and Vince, you chime in too, but from a quality standpoint, it's typically used. Our industry is an industry of complaints, unfortunately. Yeah. And like, you could be doing a really good job. You miss one trash can and like, they think you suck, so
you didn't clean last night.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So just a little backstory. Our father and uncle started a cleaning business when they were in high school in the 70s. That was the first company. And then
I'm waiting until you guys say the 1900s. I'm just waiting.
And then in the 90s, they started Core to move into the consulting and then developing the software. So my point in just saying that is we have a real heart for the frontline cleaner. We were both cleaning as little kids. And so everything we do is to try to kind of promote the industry and keep it professional and intact. So a lot of times with the quality data, we designed our software to show everything that's going well. So that, yes, there are, you're measuring deficiencies and there's complaints, but you want to benchmark objectively and help the client see, hey, yes, I missed a couple things, but I'm scoring 92%, and that's APA 1 or that's, ISSA or their highest standards. So, so from a quality standpoint, it's often used to show that, hey, I'm in line here with like what you're paying for with the spec. You can tie specs to quality.
Because I love that you said it that way too. Because when you think quality or an inspection or you're doing this, like you right away go to like, well, what did we do wrong? Yeah. And what did we do bad? To your point of, hey, but what do we do good?
Yeah.
That's a great point.
You don't want it to just be, you want to prop up the cleaning team. And
it's a training tool too.
Yeah.
I mean, these are things you're doing great. And these are a few things that we need to work on. It's not a punitive system every time you go out in the field.
Yeah. Think about this, you guys, too. Like, because I remember you guys would agree probably too. It's like, we've been in the field, we were cleaning. Mm-hmm. How did your morale as a technician change when we used to, when I first started, there was a notebook and they would leave the notes in there.
Yeah.
And I would open a note. You missed this, missed that, do this better. I just started my shift. Right. Like, this is what I'm looking at, and I'm just starting my shift. So like the idea of red, X, failed, I'm like, oh my God, it's demoralizing. Like, what about if it was to what Vince, you just said is like, hey, you did this good, but man, here, we should improve here, here, and here. Like that language is so much better.
Yeah, so much better. Yeah, and then the other most common benchmarking we do is on staffing and cost. So, a lot of times when we're doing these bids, they're multi-million-dollar cleaning contracts. We tend to work with kind of real complex, big places. And, the difference sometimes from a low bid to the next lowest might be $1 million, $2 million. That's real tempting cost savings for the customer to.
Oh yeah. They're going to think twice.
Grab.
Oh yeah.
But we'll use our workloading software to kind of keep the customer protected in terms of, hey, these bids here are kind of in line with the benchmarks with production rates or, and help them understand how the union works too. And you can't just go into a union environment, there's certain things you have to follow there. So I think that's probably the other most common way that's used.
That's gotta be helpful then. I mean, cause I'm just imagining like all I want is a fair shot, right? Yeah. As a BSC, I want a fair shot when I'm going into a bid against, again, competitive nature. It's, hey, you got to compete, right? Yep. Like I even say, sometimes I don't even care about using the fact that I'm a minority owned business contractor, right? Mm-hmm. I appreciate it. I love that I have the credentials, but I want you to choose me because I'm a better business contractor, right? Yeah. I do a good job. That's why you're going to choose me. So, but sometimes I'll see the things come in and I'm like, man, this isn't even apples to apples. I'm like, they just chose this when our price is like based off this man hours. This one is this man. Like, of course it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be cheaper. Like, so for you guys,
It's always related.
it helps that you guys show that then. It's like, here, this is in line.
Yep.
So if anybody's under here, I mean, it's their choice at the end of the day, but they're choosing under what the benchmark would be.
Yeah. And then in in-house programs, a lot of the K-12 and higher ed that we work with are in-house. They think of it mainly in terms of funding. They're constantly competing for resources, with grounds or maintenance or with the faculty, and they need to kind of prove that, they need to justify, hey, if you want this level of service for first impression to parents or students, we need this many people. And we can't go below. You can't ask us to be down here, but also expect that we're going to do this. So
budget. At the end, there's still a budget.
It's budget.
All right. So, and you kind of talked about this already, so we don't have to go too much into it, but I did notice how you guys have two programs. It's the program for an in-house and it's the program for the outsource. Yeah. Right? Okay. Now, we like skipped over this. Usually I would have touched on this first, but back to the family business.
Yes.
So we got Pops.
Yeah.
Uncle is Dad's brother?
Yep.
Okay. They were the ones that started the cleaning company. Like what in the 70s? Like what were they thinking? Like obviously you guys were young, not even born yet, but like
17.
He was 17. My uncle was in 8th grade. He's like
then,
14.
so they literally never turned back.
No, never turned back.
Never turned back.
Yeah, they did it originally to pay.
And what father's name and uncle's name?
Tony and Dave.
Tony and Dave.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think my mom was even cleaning trash cans.
By default, she had to.
Yeah, she was dating my dad.
She didn't get paid, but it's okay.
Exactly.
Our grandma was the secretary for 20 years of the cleaning company. So, we always just grew up really proud of our family, of the industry, of our dad and uncle are both just really fun, great guys that kind of put.
I saw their pictures. They look like they're fun guys.
They put family first, and they would never sacrifice kind of family relationships for the sake of driving extra hard at the company and stressing everybody out. So that was just kind of the culture we grew up in. And they did it to pay their way to go to college. They both wanted to go to, I think, Cornell. They had these high hopes, and they had, my grandpa didn't have money to do it. So like, let's start a business and see if we can fund it. So that was the original goal, to do it for a few years, but then they just kept it going.
Taste.
And there was a marketing professor that my dad had at school that kind of really helped him turn it into more of just like a hobby business that paid for college into like something bigger.
Think about how cool is that they took the risk to build something. Again, they probably didn't even realize they were building a business.
Right.
But to your point, like, hey, you're in school, you probably have a business class, you probably have a marketing class, you probably hey, professor, I have something here. Can you help me?
Yeah, he uses one of his classes to do it. And he would drive back and forth from school 45 minutes every day to keep the company going. And and then I think at some point in the 90s, our dad's very entrepreneurial and kind of like, he's like the visionary of the family and loves to just keep trying new things. And I think he was just getting ready to try something new. And he was bidding on a job, and he was one of 12 contractors bidding on an RFP. And he realized he has a 1 in 12 chance of winning it. And the specs were terrible. The square footage was bad. The place was filthy. And it just kind of a light bulb went off to him. He's like, what if I disqualified myself as a bidder and was a consultant for this facility manager and helped him rewrite his spec?
Use the knowledge
what I
base.
know that all these other bidders know, but like on the other side of the table for this guy. And he crossed off commercial cleaning contractor in his business card, and he just wrote consultant, and he gave it to the guy, and he said, hey, if you want me to just help you do this bid, I'll disqualify myself and I'll help you. He said by the time he got back to the office, he had a message on his like pager answering machine or something.
Page me.
And the guy's like,
stoned.
But the guy's like, yep, you're hired. Let's do it. And then
saw an opportunity.
Yeah. And then he's like,
because actually saw a challenge, because he's probably like, I got 1 in 12 chances. This is not good.
Yeah. So
let's flip that to I got 1 in 1 chance.
And he really never looked back. Like, not that he, hated the contract cleaning side, but he's like, I'm ready for something new. I'm going to start Core. And a couple of years, I think a year later, he named it Core America. And then, and we kind of, joined that as we got older, and that's never
so
back.
How proud were you guys, and have you been, where like, again, there's probably times, I know me, myself as a father with my kids, I'm working my ass off. I don't get there for lunch or dinner, and I miss a whole day with them sometimes because, hey, we're working, we're building. Yeah. Do you see that differently now? As I'm sure you saw him working hard at a young age, but now flip the script. You guys are working your asses off and seeing him still there. How did the dynamic change from early age to now seeing why behind all of it?
Yeah, I think when I was younger, he was just starting Core, so he was flying more often.
Yeah, he was gone on.
Yeah. So
actually, sorry to interrupt, when he was doing the contract cleaning still, he was around a ton actually. Like, he went to everyone. So he coached all our teams. He was our Cub Scout group leader.
Because it was probably you own a company in the market and you stay in that market.
Yeah, exactly. And
so it was Core America's fault. Okay.
It was Core's fault. Yeah. No, but I would say, and seeing what he grew from just a 1 or 2 person company to what it is today, and then now me traveling. I was in Nashville last week.
Like you're in that seat now.
Yeah. It's just like I can think back and just appreciate. I'm sure he didn't want to be doing all that, but he did it, and look where we are today. And such a very, very, very proud of him.
Hell yeah. That's all, and that's family business, right?
Yep.
You hear the other side, but this is the side that I love. It's like when it comes to fruition, never going to be easy. Still, there's
challenges too.
There's challenges. There's way more challenges.
I always joke because he has 6 kids. I spend the whole day.
Who's got 6 kids? You got 6 kids?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Lord
so
have
I spend
mercy.
the whole day with my dad and my brother. Then it's like it's someone's birthday after work. It's dinner at grandpa's, or so which is fun. I was like, I need
kids for you.
I need one night off. No.
Well, you don't need it. You got 6 over here.
I got 6.
So I'm gonna make a joke, but like 6 kids. Yeah. I've got 2. Our friends have 3. Like a lot of our friends have 2 or 3, and we've gotten to the point now where like, hey, let's go out to eat on a Saturday. I'm like, cool, let's go out. You okay? So it's 4 families, and we're gonna go. It's 18 of us.
Yeah.
You can't go to restaurants with a group of 18 and walk in and say, hey, can we do 18. A walk? You can't. Yes, hold on. We got a private room in the back. You got 9 little ones and 8 adults. Like it changes your whole perspective.
It really does. Yeah.
Hey, congrats, man.
Thanks. It's fun.
You got a full starting lineup.
I do.
Go. You got a bench.
I got 6th man.
You got 6th man of the year.
Tony coached.
Awesome. So how? A wife or girlfriend?
Nope.
Okay, so he's living the life over here.
Yeah,
he's got no responsibilities, man. No, I'm kidding.
I must have scared him away from family life or something.
Right. How is your partner, your wife? Yeah. And again, you guys are still young, but you're working your butts off, and the demand is there. Being leadership of the company. How's that relationship with her and empowering what you're doing?
Yeah. My wife's awesome. She's a stay-at-home mom, and
you can give her a shout out.
Yeah, Katie, you're doing a great job. Thank you. She's my best friend, and we just have a great relationship, and our faith and attitude toward it, I think, just helps us go through. And I think we're really good at setting boundaries where, I work hard when I work, but I really try to keep my job like 8 to 5, honestly, and like a little bit on, Saturdays or nights if I need to catch up. So I'd rather even grow a little slower as a company to not be working 100 hours a week and miss my kids' childhood. So I think we've done a good about picking the best people to join the team and making them have roles that are kind of very
aligned with their
lifestyle. But what am I trying to say? Like I kind of set up the company with the end goal in mind already of having good work-life balance. If that makes sense. Because I haven't made decisions that would stretch myself or others beyond the breaking point, because I don't want that for me and I don't want that for others too. Our dad was really good at being around a lot growing up, and I saw him do it, and it showed me that you can have both. You can have like a really good relationship with your kids and have a successful business.
And that's what's difficult, right? Work-life balance. Like so like Vince, I'll go to you on just when we get a lot of people that want us to mentor, coach. Rick, we love the story of Rosalato. We love the growth in this. But I'm always careful on when me and my wife, which was my girlfriend at the time, and then Tony and my family, like I didn't have kids. I wasn't married. I could work my butt off. Like I had no obstacles other than I just need to put food on the table and have a savings account and keep it going the next day.
Yeah.
When it's people coming up and like, hey, I'm a mother of 3, recently divorced, or I'm single. I have 2 kids. Like that's different, man. Like that work-life balance, that's a different balance, because being single and, not having those responsibilities, your chances of overworking is there. I mean, you shouldn't do it, but you can, because it falls on you at that point, right? Like, so that gives you that extra drive to say, hey, I got time to get it done right now, and that is what drove us in the beginning, man, is we said to ourselves, like, hey, we're going to get to a point where we're going to have a family, but let's utilize this time we don't. And we got to work extra hours. We work the extra hours until we don't need to anymore.
Yeah.
Right. That wasn't a question. That was a statement. So, but the question being, as you're in the sales marketing, you came from product and the cleaning industry already, like all these steps for you to get to where you're at. What excites you about being in this role, knowing what you know with the product and the industry? I mean, sales and marketing is a big department for a business.
Sure. So I think starting out as doing inspections in the field using Smart Inspect, and with the background of the cleaning company, like I'm so inside and out of this program, right? I used it for 5 years straight in the field, and then I moved into that product role. So with our in-house developers, we built Smart Inspect into a larger platform with work, like smart tickets and work orders and scheduling. Then we built it into checklists and, validation and routes. And I think just being so intertwined with it and loving it so much and seeing how it started back on these iPads into what it is today, I think that inspires me to want to market it and get it out there, because folks that are, the industry is kind of low tech, right? Yeah. So, and part of that committee is to change that. And I think that just has inspired me to want to make it available to people that might not know they need it, you know? So I don't know. I think just all that background makes it easier for me to market it and
because it's almost like you're not really even selling it now, right? You're just showing where the value is. Exactly. So to that point, Tony, I'll ask you this question: is you're in this role where you play consultant, you're there to support, help either side. Doesn't matter what side it is. You're just there to perform and add value. Is there a moment, any moment throughout the career that you've had in being with the company that you saw and you witnessed like a positive impact that you had on a client that, again, until you had come, they had not realized this value was out there? And how did that make you feel?
My favorite, every day I'm fortunate to have a lot of those kind of experiences, because we just have a lot of great projects going on. But I would say the ones that are my favorite are when they're originally nervous that we're coming in. They're kind of scared, like, Core's here to, take us from in-house to outsource or downsize. And those are all just myths. It's not what we're doing. So to see them go from a nervous kind of old school, low tech organization to a confident, high tech, high performing organization that not only like we're before, maybe their budgets were being cut and they were sort of being almost demeaned within like the greater structure of whatever the client was, to being kind of like the shining example of, hey, we're so proud of our custodial or janitorial program that, now we've, mobilized and digitized the frontline workers, the supervisors have the right tools to manage better. We're doing training. We have, we're doing everything we're doing is validated by workloading. And then it's measured. The cleanliness is measured, and you could show objectively, like, hey, we were at like a 75% QSP score. Now we're at 95%, and we didn't have to add any people to get there. We're doing smarter, not harder kind of thing. So just when we were able to really just transform a program from like one of our testimonials we share was this municipality where they said we took them, we advanced them a generation, like a whole generation forward with like our 1 year of kind of working with them. So just outcomes like that.
That's a great testimonial.
Yeah, it's just like, it makes you feel proud that like from the management level all the way to the frontline worker, like everybody's jobs are kind of enhanced and they have more purpose behind them.
And what I like, again, like you guys didn't stop at just, again, from the outside looking in and looking at hearing what you guys are saying too, is you didn't stop at just adding value by like recommending. You've also got tools. So you've equipped them with a toolkit. Yeah, either whether it's the client or whether it's a BSC that now knows better because they've seen what you've done. And like, okay, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. And go ahead.
No, I was just thought of a story. There was a few weeks ago, I was down presenting to a company, and it was funny. It was just a room full of directors and things I was showing, you can hear.
ooh,
like the reactions,
so things like that keeps me coming back. You know,
it's like I got him.
Imagine if we had that over there, or if we all use that, and it was just it was a cool feeling knowing that we built this amazing tool, and to see reactions like that. It was
well, and it's a program.
Rewarding.
I think it's even more than a tool you guys have. You guys have an entire program, which again is a need in our space on all levels.
Yeah.
So speaking of programs, again, thinking of what questions and the things the audience tells our community, which I need you guys to join our Route community. I'll send you information on that. Mentorship. How has mentorship played a role in you guys developing yourselves career-wise, professionally, personally? Is there mentors that you guys have? Because that's a lot of questions we'll always get from the audience, especially the smaller business, right? 0 to 1 million in revenue.
Yeah.
The whole idea of crossing that $1 million mark is a big thing in our industry, right? It's very fragmented. I'm a big advocate for mentorship, and I'm like, you can't do things on your own. You guys are kind of that other side too of your consulting to help people to get better. What is mentorship? Each one you want to answer, just in general.
I mean, I think, to be completely honest, it was my father to start, but then Tony was a huge mentor to me. Both in like leadership skills and just work-life balance. So watching him kind of run the ship it's really fun, and I'm proud of him. So it's easy to learn from example, and he sets a great example. So
instead of theory or like on a pod, on like
you see it every day.
An Instagram post, and it's like these people are they're inspirational, but like
I would say both in work and life too. So I've taken a lot from.
I set you up. Say that.
Oh man, probably a moment there.
What about Tony? What about you?
Similar to Vince, for me, it started with family. My dad, my uncle, my grandpa was an insurance salesman. My other grandpa was a painter. I would say, like, when I think of my earlier years of mentorship, it's family. But then, where I think my next level came in was when we were trying to transition from like a founder-led company to the next phase of like management model led. That to me was the hardest part of my time ever at Core America. I think my dad's hardest time when he was really starting the company, that's when he was working the 100 hours.
Right.
I got to come in 15 years after that and kind of stand on his shoulders and do the next part. But I hit a wall when, at some point when we had about 25 team members, it couldn't just be my dad and I like doing everything. We had to develop a management model and get to like that next level of professionalism and size and what have you. So one community, I'll give a shout out to the Small Giants community. They taught me a lot. I still go to their conferences and had some great mentors there. And then just other local business people or other software providers that have kind of, I like to talk to people that are like 2 steps ahead of me, that can look, not only have just exited out of my phase, but like the next one. Yeah. So just been some great people that have about like 80 to 100 employees we have about 40 right now. And they've just been awesome, just helping me see the risks and rewards of like where we're at now. Like sometimes you could feel like it's so hard, but then they miss being this size because like, we knew everybody by first name, we knew their spouse and their kids, and I missed that. And it's like, all right, there's some really good things going on right now about just exactly where we're at.
No, man, I think that's a great point too. Just like people forget about embracing where they're at in the moment. Everybody's always trying to grow and scale, and let me get to that next level. And to your point, man, that middle management, that to me was the toughest part. Still is, even on multiple levels.
About the EOS system.
It's because you're just, it's new. It's like you got to trust.
You gotta let go.
Different personalities, and you got to let go. And can I afford it? What if I don't? Can you afford not to? Like so much doubt. And like, and you're like, you went from being the lonely solo founder to like, no, man, my team needs to lead, and I need to give them the resources and stuff. Yep. That's
how about you?
Truth.
You've gone through, who are your mentors in the industry or in
life? Oh man. So like I would say, again, early on, you nailed it. Family. Mm-hmm. Like I had nobody around me but family, like 20 hours a day. Right. The first 4 or 5 years. Yeah. I have no friends. Even my friends were like, where'd you go from 2012 to 2017? I was like, where the bathrooms in the back of the houses, that's where I was. But then I had a couple friends that actually were mentors because they were 2 steps ahead of me and they had built businesses in blue collar. So I would reach out to them, and and it's weird, right? Like sometimes you have groups of friends that are like, they're your friends. You don't want to share too much. You're like, let's just have fun and talk fun stuff. But if you open up and share the right things, like friend or not friend, that's the only way they can help, man. Yeah. That's what I've been learning a lot. And I went to one of the biggest programs I ever did that literally changed me as far as how I thought about business was a 10,000 small business. You guys ever heard of that?
No.
Goldman Sachs 10,000 small business. I did that in 2017. And, you know, I'm a sales guy. So I walked into it like, I can pitch our story. I can talk shop. We're at like the 1 to 2 million mark. I think we got something. We're growing. And what this program did for 5 months is it like beat you down and took your, you know, in the good way, took your business down to the floor level. Like I had to learn finances, the basics of accounting, the basics of profitability. I would never live there. I always just sent my stuff to the accountant, right? Never ask questions. That's not my realm. Let me just work on sales and marketing. So it really helped me, that program. And the mentors we had there, they were all good at that department. They were all professors from like local city colleges here in Chicago. Again, they don't know me. I don't know them. They don't care if they, you know, upset me or anything. But it was the first time I looked under the hood of the business, and not from a family perspective. And like, that's the trajectory I then took to do more programs. I'm big on.
That was before Route, or that was
before Route?
That was when
Route came. The idea of the first idea of Route was Rosa Route. Rosa Route was a smartwatch app that instead of clocking in and out, I wanted to do RFIDs. And as I walked in, it clocked me in.
Oh, nice.
And then the task would pop up for that room.
Okay.
Right. And I would track. And it was smartwatch based. Literally, because in that program, it was called your vision or your growth. I forgot, growth vision plan or something. So at the end of the 4-month program, what's the like thing that you want to do that is just so crazy it's not going to happen, but you put it down on paper? That was that in 2017.
Wow.
2018 happens. I'm in another program. So I just went on a program rage. I did like 4 accelerators on just business acceleration classes.
Did you go to school for business? Sorry.
No.
Okay. So this is a college.
Intro to arts class, intro to radio. I took the worst classes in college. I'm so upset. But at
intro to radio.
Yeah, intro to radio. Yeah. But I'll tell you what I did learn in college is how to socialize and how to break into networks and how to. That was the most powerful thing for me. But yeah, man, that's how I looked at mentorship back then. Now it's different. Now it's like I find people on LinkedIn, anybody to your point who's 2-3 steps ahead. I cold outreach, man. And I'm just like, hey, I love where you're going. I love what you've done with your business. I think I have a similar story. Do you have 5 minutes for me to talk?
Do you get I don't care responses from that? Nice.
Dude, because I don't care. I got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Like, you know, what are you going to lose by reaching out? So man, we went real deep in mentorship. All right. So I think topic. I want to start wrapping things up. I do like to end with now, you guys, as of late, because I've had some good, we call them vulnerability sessions when I do the on-site cleaning and cocktails at events. And what I do there is I ask about a peak and a valley, right? A lot of people are always sharing about their peaks. I'd love to take a moment and each one of you guys like share a valley. So a valley being a low point, a moment where you thought, hey, I need to leave this family business, or me and my brother, I'm not saying you two don't, you guys fight, right? But like, tell us, because everybody on social media is having the time of their life. Everything's positive, right? Can you guys share some low points that turned around and actually became an opportunity for you to be better?
Yeah. You want to go first, or
You go first.
Okay.
Let me sift through this and find the one that's not just kidding.
We already talked about the hard point of kind of pushing out of the founder-led model. So I think the other, and that was about 5 years ago, but if you go back maybe 10 or 12 years ago, that was the other, I would say, valley where I was in the family business, or I was at Core for about 4 to 5 years at that point. And I was kind of at a crossroads where I liked it. I wasn't sure yet if I want to do it forever, but it was good while I was doing it. But I felt like I was being like my ideas, like I didn't really have true say in anything. You know, it was very much still our dad's company, and it not in a bad way. It was just how it was. You know, he started it, and it was just very much like his fingerprints all over everything. which was cool. But I've always been really into entrepreneurship. Like I went to college for entrepreneurship as well. And I felt like I was reaching the point where I either needed to feel more like an entrepreneur in the company, or I need to find something else to scratch that itch. And I just wasn't there. And I was kind of a little disappointed at that point that I wasn't doing that yet. And so I actually started interning with like the financial advisor company, and I was thinking about grounds and land, just like random things that like something I could start on my own and kind of be my own boss, because I wasn't really getting that chance yet. And I just had some really good conversations with my dad about it. And what we decided to do was go to a family business conference. It was called Transitions East. It was down in Florida. So I went with my dad, my uncle, and without even really knowing what would come out of it, but we listened to all these sessions and all these other family businesses that it was a lot of actually horror stories.
Yeah.
Like families just ripped apart from business conflict, which was new. Like I never thought
because you weren't witnessing that.
No, not at all. I didn't even realize that there was like a negative side to having a family business. But through that, a lot of it came from first generation, second generation conflict, and the first generation not kind of letting the second generation make their own dream out of it.
Okay.
And so I think that was really eye-opening to all of us. And it like gave us the right framework to talk about all those things. Yeah. And like little by little, I think then that transition actually started happening where like in small ways, I was able to start calling the shots for this or that, or it actually kind of started more on the software side where I was able to have more say, because my dad's more kind of a pure like cleaning guy. The software, he liked it, but it wasn't really his thing. Like
that was an opportunity.
Yeah. So I got to start doing more and more with Smart Inspect. And yeah, it just kind of blossomed into where I am today, like kind of running the whole company. But
because this could be a very different direction right now.
It could have been, yeah. And it made me, instead of thinking of leaving, it was like the opposite. Like coming out of that conference, I was so excited to just like go all in. And I really never looked back from that point for the last 12 years.
So a valley turning into a peak.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Awesome, man. Vince, what about you?
Yeah, I would say mine was somewhat similar. I mean, small town, living at home, all my friends after college spread out, California, Colorado, New York, Boston. And I was working for the family business. And so I got an interview down in New York City with this tech company. I went down there, interviewed, and he was asking me like what I do. And I explained our company and how I was traveling and doing all this, all these great inspections and seeing all these great places. And he goes, "Why the hell do you want to come get a job down here?" Wow. And the way he said that, it kind of was like, you know what, I do have something special back at home, even though, you know, it feels like a home. It is, it's a hometown. You know, I live in the same town I grew up, but it was just kind of that eye-opening thing. I was in the city, I got the job, and he was like, I mean, what are you doing though?
Oh man.
And I turned around and drove home, and I said, this is for me. So
well, I think it's reflection, right? Yeah. You also need that, you know, we get in our own heads, I think, right? Like even for me, I joke about this now, is like my first 3-4 years, you know, people look at me now and they're like, "Oh man, Rick, you're like a social butterfly. You network, you do this." Like those first few years, I didn't tell anybody I owned a cleaning company. I was ashamed. I was like, ugh, I went to school and I got a degree to own a cleaning company and clean toilets. Like, nah, I'm not going to tell anything. Let me see if there's something else. And I was always looking for the something else until like you realize like, damn, I have something, you know, like I'm just looking at it the wrong way. So I think it's reflection on where we are sometimes and being present, right?
For sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we could keep going, but this has been awesome already. I thank you for sharing your story. The fact that you guys are brothers, and again, it seems you guys have a great working relationship, right? People talk about family business. I'm like, see, it works. What do you mean? It's awesome. So I'm excited to be on the committee with you guys. I'm excited to check out this CLX event, because again, you really showed me what that's going to be and feel like.
I'm excited for that. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. It's our first year with this committee. I think there's a lot that we're going to be able to do. This guy, tech guy in through and thin over here, man. Let's have some fun after this right now. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. Cleaning Cocktails family, I'm going to have all their information, as I always do, on the YouTube channel. And when we make our posts, we'll be tagging you guys. So if there's anything you all want to ask any questions about family business, inspections, the cleaning consultant arm, or just life in general in the cleaning industry. Literally since the 1970s, this business has been around. So Vince, Tony, thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having us.
Cleaning Cocktails family. I'll see you on the next episode.